of fine art, and we're going to do this segment sort of especially for producer Jason, but many of you out there who understand this, and there are so many people who date so poorly, and part of this has to do with the things they don't understand about the opposite gender. But I think it's because men don't understand what women want, and women don't understand so well sometimes what men want. But I have with me in studio today, dating expert. I can't imagine what it's like to be a dating expert. Dating expert Deanna Lorraine here to fill us in on what is going on in the brains of men and women. Deanna, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, we are told these days that men and women are supposed to be exactly alike. So it would follow then that if men went into the date thinking he should just treat a woman like he would his buddy, that's gonna be somehow romantic and attractive to her.
Yeah, that's kind of looking for a recipe for a disaster. Yeah. Actually, it's not going to work out so well. There's a reason why we were born and made differently. And that's the problem nowadays about what's going on, is that gender roles are getting different and changing, and everything's getting all crazy. There's new technologies and ways of meeting people. So our society's changed, but the way that women and men are designed to work harmoniously together has not.
Yeah.
But that's the issue right now. That's why everyone's so confused.
Well, it is confusing. And you know what? Honestly, in this, I feel sorry for men.
Yeah.
Because I think women, we kind of know what we're thinking. And I think women are actually mostly, largely, generally a lot alike. But, you know, we send these mixed messages to men. If they open a door, they might get snapped at, for example.
Yeah, I don't know what woman does that, but yeah, there are some women out there that do it.
But you do hear those stories,
absolutely.
Yeah. And then you hear women
reward the man for opening the door.
For crying out loud, right? And then you hear women who are insulted if the man wants to pay for a meal. Well, if a man asks me to pay for a meal, he's going to be finding the door really fast.
Yes, exactly. So that's the thing. A lot of women, you know, they're rising in power. They're making more money than men. They don't technically need a man anymore. A lot of them do. A lot of them don't. But so men are feeling quite useless these days, right? They feel like they're not being needed.
Right.
And, you know, the way that a man is designed is they need to feel needed.
Yes.
They actually do. It's part of like their birthright.
Yes.
So when a woman is like rejecting them, and they're rejecting the door opening, and they're saying, I'll pay, and they insist on paying, it's like castrating a man, basically.
Yeah.
And
I
they're
like the little clippy action
Yes,
there.
exactly.
Castrating a man. So when you're advising women of how to treat a man, what is your strongest advice for her?
Well, to be in your feminine energy, okay? Because especially, I work with a lot of powerful women, attorneys and doctors and CEOs, and they're...
So you're like coaching these women like how to date.
Yes. Yes. And they're ruling the world, except for they're not ruling the men, the male world.
Yeah.
So what I coach them on is like really knowing how to shut off the masculine work mode energy, leave it at the office.
It's got to be hard.
It is hard. I've had to deal with that myself too, because I'm a powerful woman out there. So you have to step into your feminine energy when you're with men and allow a man to contribute to you. Allow him to open the doors. Allow him to pay for you. Allow him to do the little things.
Sometimes for women who, especially women who are used to being bosses, as you and I both are, it's hard to do that because it feels like you're allowing him to control you. I'm just going to throw that out there. That's what it feels like, and we don't want to be controlled.
Right. So that's the thing. That's what I coach my women on. It's not control. It's more
semantics here.
Yes, exactly. It's allowing, it's kind of surrendering, but in a good way. Because deep down, don't we all really deep down, like our little dirty secret is that we do want a man to kind of take care of us?
Yes, I'm so glad you said that, because I do feel that way.
Deep down, we all do. We're like, oh, why don't I have a man? And I don't need a man. But really, how nice would it be to have a nice, strong man to come home to at the end of the day who does things like squashes the bugs for you and fixes your tire and, you know, rubs your shoulders and just like is there for you as a strong support system.
So the message to men is that women really do. Our little secret, we're not going to tell,
yeah, we're not
but our little secret, this is our girl talk, is that we do not mind being taken care of. And in fact, that's a little bit flattering. Now,
it's innately what we want, actually.
Okay.
So women should allow men to contribute and be manly in any way that he can find. You know, whether it's just squishing a bug or fixing a tire or whatever, those little manly ways, let him do that.
Okay, so now we get to the really mysterious part, at least for me, and that is, what the heck is wrong with men?
The problem with men may actually be women. So, because it's a battle of the sexes here. The thing with men is that they're now so confused about what to do these days because women are rising in power. And they feel like, okay, what is too much communication? What is too little? If I open doors, she's not going to like that. If I pay, she's not going to like that. So they're, first of all, just very confused.
Well, what's their secret, though? You gave me the woman's secret. What's the men's secret?
Like what do I coach them on?
Yeah, well, no. What's the thing that they don't want us to know? Like, we don't want them to know that we really want to be taken care of, even if every vibe we send is otherwise.
Right.
What's their little secret?
They really want to take care of us.
Okay, there you
and
go.
they really want love. They really want a relationship, but they're afraid to be vulnerable.
But doesn't love to a man just mean sex?
You know, you would think, but not all the time. Okay. And sex is often the gateway to having love, but you know, it's,
for them.
Yes.
For us, it's the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. We're always testing a man to see if he's really, you know, relationship material. They're kind of testing us to see if we're, you know, going to be good in bed. But they really want at the end of the day what we do, but they have sort of lost their, you know, cojones along the way a little bit, and they're afraid to call, they're afraid to text too much. They're not really like doing the masculine pursuit that men back in the day did. And
so what's the best
we want to be
reception?
pursued.
Yeah, and how can women convey that to men? How can women make men feel okay about, you know, say you really do like this guy, and he's not texting you enough, right?
Yeah, it's like he's letting the ball drop and everything.
Yes.
It's good to make sure that you text in a you know, pretty short amount of time so that he doesn't think that you're playing games.
Okay.
And, you know, keep the conversation going by asking him questions sometimes. Sometimes you should initiate the texting. And also let him know.
Oh, really? Sometimes you should initiate the texting, because I definitely advise my daughter otherwise.
Yes, sometimes. Yeah. Okay, but he should do the majority of it.
Okay.
And when you're in person, you should let him know, like, I'm kind of a phone call kind of a girl. Like, I love, you know, when you text me, but it's really nice to hear
the voice sometimes.
A voice sometimes,
Sure.
or else I think you're kind of like a phantom, and I forget what you look like and sound like. And make a cute joke about it. But if you let him know how you like to be courted and that you do like to hear from him sometimes or more, then usually he'll pick up on it. And if not, if he's still just like minimal communication and not courting you the way that a woman deserves to be, then he may just, you know, he may not be the right guy for you.
So what changes then once we're talking about a marital relationship? Going from dating to marriage now, what changes?
Okay, shifting gears. What changes is, well, a lot of people don't really know the definition of commitment anymore, right? I mean, they're just like, hey, we had a bad day, let's go throw in a divorce.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and it's sad, but there's all this temptation nowadays, too, with new technologies and online dating sites and cheating sites and all sorts of things.
Right.
So it's really hard to keep the commitment alive for marriage these days. But what I tell my couples clients is that you need to know the definition of commitment and evolution in your marriage. You have to keep evolving the marriage and recreating it every year.
And you still have to date in a marriage, don't you?
Yes, I actually have.
Because really, like, a lot less changes than I think most spouses would like to believe changes about the courtship process that needs to continue into the marriage.
Totally. I actually have a distinction that I coach called dating your spouse.
I love that.
It's all about that, because that's what keeps the butterflies going, and that's what keeps the passion going, and the romance alive, and that's what keeps the marriage.
So give us a couple of tips on that. How do you date your spouse? Yeah.
First of all, you should have a regular date night every week.
Every week.
Every week.
That's huge with kids.
That's a huge commitment. With kids. I mean, I wouldn't go more than 2 weeks without it. So sometimes I guess you could go bi-weekly.
Okay.
But you don't want to go 2 weeks without having a date night. Okay. Because then it starts to get a slippery slope from there. Okay. And I know that there's kids involved. You can get a babysitter. Right? A sitter is way cheaper than a divorce. That's what I say. You know, so keep the romance alive. Also, when you go on your dates, he should pick you up. You guys should get ready at separate houses or separate places, and he picks you up.
Oh, I love that.
Knocks on your door, just like old times, right?
I love that.
You know, so you get ready separately, and you have that romance alive.
Yeah.
And you should keep surprising each other with like little notes or novel surprises. Every once in a while, do not stop with the surprises. And I say at least every 3 months, the couple should go away on a lone overnight or weekend trip.
3 months.
Every 3
you're
months.
Setting some high standards there, Deanna.
It's so worth it, though, to keep the romance alive and keep it hot.
That. I like all of that. And I know that one thing I think is really fun is if you go sit in a restaurant or something and have him meet you there, you know, instead of just the get ready at home like you're used to. Exactly. I think those are great
And he
points.
picks up on you like, hey, sexy lady.
Exactly.
Yeah,
now, where can people go to find more tips about this?
You can go to my website at datingcoachdeanna.com if you're a woman, or deannalorraine.com if you're a man.
All right.